Hi, everybody. My name is Vic Fontaine, and for those that live in Binghamton, New York, might have known me about 65 years ago. The town was jumping. We had all the joints and all the nightclubs. We had Gentleman Joe's. We had all these bars in Endicott, and all the bands worked. And so I started singing when I was 12 years old with Pat the Cat Monfort. Used to do weddings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Binghamton, Endicott. So I sang for Bob Collins. He was an announcer on WINR. He was a sportscaster. And he became our manager. He was really, really good at it. And he booked all the shows in the EJ Recreation. That's where they had all the record hops and all that. And things were just different than they are today.
I get no kicks from champagne, mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, what should I do? 'Cause I get a kick out of you.
And I was 15, 16 years old, and he booked Louis Armstrong after Louis Armstrong made a movie with Grace Kelly and Bing Crosby. White Christmas, you've probably seen it. Anyhow, I loved Louis Armstrong so bad I wanted to sing with this guy, but I said, how the hell am I going to sing with this guy? He's Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, Pops. So Bob talked to him, and he says, we're going to get this young kid here, this blonde-headed white kid, singing with black group was easy then, it's easy now, but I didn't figure myself singing with Louis Armstrong because I idoled him so much. So Bob introduced me to him, and he got me to sing 2 songs with him and Beth Middleton. She was a black singer, very blues, great singer. So I'm 15 years old, and I got to sing a blues song with Louis Armstrong. And he liked me so much, he took me to Elmira with him and the Utica as an opening act. And I was so thrilled about it, and I sat down with him and just chatted with him. I didn't have much to say. I didn't have that much education. I quit school in the 7th grade just to go to singing. And so I talked to him, and I was very excited. My God. He uses the hanky to sweat, and I was sweating more than he did. I grabbed his hanky and wiped my head. I know I didn't, but I wanted to. Anyhow, he introduced me to Joe Glazier, who was his agent at the time, manager in New York. And they started getting people interested in me. And at the same token that Pat and I, Monfort, got a band together, 2, 3 different kinds of band, Pat the Cat, and then we had the Montaignes, and we had local musicians that they're all passed away, God bless them. And we played Wildwood, New Jersey, we played all down Baltimore, New Jersey, we played Eden Rock in Florida with Judy Garland, the opening act. And then Pat and I broke up, and then I went on my own for 50 years. I've been on my own being an MC in the lounges. So I've sang in Vegas.
But with me, I lived in Vegas. But don't you ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna feel blue if you let me.
I got with Pat back together again just for a week, and we went on The Tonight Show, believe it or not. We only did 1 song. We followed an elephant act, and that was quite funny. But in those days, you did anything. I remember us getting into a car. We had 3 cars. We went to Chicago to play a job. We had babies on our laps. We had 15 people or so. We got to the nightclub, and it said on the sign, nightclub out of business. Here we are with 12, 15 people, no money. So I went around starting to get singing jobs in little lounges, and they broke up and went and played in some jazz joints. We got enough money to get home. So, but these are kinds of stories that anybody that's in the business understands. It takes an awful lot of brains and money and things and patience to get in show business to stay there. I've been doing it 65 years.
We're drinking, my friend, say to the end of a brief episode. So make it one for my baby and one more for I've got the routine. Joe, come on, put that bottle on the bar. Put a nickel in the machine. It used to be a quarter. Now it's $10.
Never made the big time, but I worked with everybody you can think of. And I learned myself. Rod Serling gave me a lot of tips on what to do. I learned from Sarah Vaughan. I worked with Jimi Hendrix when he played the guitar with the Isley Brothers. I didn't know I was a bigger star than Jimi Hendrix. He was a guitar player for the Isley Brothers in Wildwood. Then, of course, he became big. He went to England, got his group going. He got everything going. One particular thing, I wrote a lot of songs, which few people recorded. Nat King Cole's brother, recorded one of my songs called The Girl Without a Name. And I wrote a song for Frankie Lane. Now, if you know Frankie Lane, he was the guy that did all the songs like Johnny Ray. He was the top man in the 50s. So I called his office in Chicago, and they told me he had an office in Beverly Hills. So I get 4 or 5 guys together and got demo records, and I borrowed money from my father to fly out to Vegas. So we go to Las Vegas, and I go to his office on Wilshire Drive in Beverly Hills, and his son came to the door and answered the door, and he says, "Oh, you're Vic Fontaine?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." After all this flight, I'm tired. I lost money in Vegas. We were crazy in those days. So he said, "Jesus, I was going to call you." He says, "I wanted to tell you that my father flew out to Syracuse, New York. He's playing at the Three Rivers Inn." I says, "Oh, my God, I only live 60 miles from the Three Rivers Inn. What am I going to?" I said, "Jesus, this trip cost me $3,000. I owe money. I'm going to get back to Binghamton. They're going to shoot me and bury me in the hills." And he says, oh, no. He says, "I'll tell my father you're coming." So we flew back to Binghamton, and I go to Syracuse at the Three Rivers Inn, which was like the whole Copacabana type thing, big nightclub. And they told me where his room was, and I knocked at the door, and I says, "Is Frankie Lane here?" And the guy says, "I'm Frankie Lane." And I didn't believe it, because here was a guy, bald, he had no teeth, and he weighed about 250 pounds. I said, "Is this Frankie Lane?" My God, I flew all over the country to see this. I mean, I'm not knocking him, because I still love him. He'd be 103, 104 now if he lived. He'd probably have me shot by telling this story. Anyhow, there's so many stories, you know, that the show business you got.
I only lived for your love and your kiss. It's paradise to be near you like this, because of you.
But it cost a lot of money to stay in show business when I was a kid, because you got to pay the bands. You work in Vegas, what are you going to do? You got all the broads around, you got the gambling, and you got the desert. Now, if you borrow money, you end up in the desert. So you got to spend your money. So, my God, one time I wanted to come home. My mother called me. She says, "Vic, aren't you going to come home this Christmas?" I says, "Ma, they like me here so much that they want me to stay for another season." But that wasn't the truth. I owed money, and they wanted me to work it out. So I had to stay there whether I liked it or not. So stories like that there, you know, it's a patient business. It's something you got to love. You got to love show business to do it.
That you and I could never be. So with my best, ooh, my very best, you know I'm gonna set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy spot to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love, my breaking heart.
Well, the next step, I'm going back to Florida. I got some people that are interested in using me again, some of the hotels. Retirement homes are big down in Florida, which they pay you pretty good money to sing for these people that can't get out. So I enjoy doing that because they're nice people, and I don't even sell CDs. I give them CDs, and they just put it in their scrapbook because they don't have CD players. So I enjoy singing all around Florida. I've sung at Universal Studios. I sang in Miami. at the Eden Rock, and I'm getting back to where I want to work at least 2 to 3 nights a week, and that'd be it. You know what I mean? So that keeps me alive. I enjoy singing because it makes me. I don't play golf. I'm not good at that or anything. So I'm singing again, and I hope that whoever hears me likes what I do.